My ex is a very definition of an entitled person. She fakes a disability to get a check, has never worked a day in her life, and has always expected everything in life handed to her. Now, all that being said, I hold none of that against my son. It isn't his fault that I stuck it in crazy. Additional life lesson: don't stick your dick in crazy. And for you ladies, don't let crazy stick its dick in you. When our son was born, her bubble of spoiled rotten extended out to him. For a while I didn't blame her. She wasn't ever supposed to be able to carry a child to term, and I wasn't supposed to be able to father anymore. I'd had a vasectomy after my third son was born. So yeah, got this one tested, and yes, he is mine. But, as always happens with entitled people, it was never enough, and eventually we split. Now, I pay a healthy amount in child support, more than the courts would actually order, and I pay on time. Every time. It's enough that even after food, clothes and other expenses, she still has plenty left over to spoil him, even if it's not up to her wants. Recently she began to complain about the fact that, when I buy him presents, they always stay with me. I have him 3 days a week, but she wants his entire toy stash to go back to her house. During her 4 days, I refused. She continued to bitch, and I fumed about it to my new wife, and a plan started brewing. I agreed that from now on, I would send half of what I got him for holidays to her house, and it could all stay there. She was proud of herself. Easter was coming. I had already bought my normal bounty, mostly consisting of outside toys. I had water guns, balls, butts, a giant outdoor bowling set, and a liberal sprinkling of candy. I went shopping again. This time with my wife. No outdoor toys this time, knowing she would not take him out to play with them. No, this time I went a route that would suit her musical and artistic child. He loves playing outside in the dirt, by the way. She just can't keep up with him when he does. I went musical, loud, and as obnoxious as I could find. A recorder, noisemakers, laser guns that made a dozen different sounds, and enough candy to put a bull moose into a diabetic coma. Enough to equal the dollar amount I spent on his original basket. Every bit of that went home with him. After he had a nice long day of running around outside, happy as a clam. She of course was thrilled seeing the volume. Her little prince was getting a quadruple Easter. My parents also gave him a basket. Hours later, I was informed that she didn't want me sending things home. If that was the kinds of toys I was going to bring him, he was running around the house screeching through the recorder, powered by a combination of chocolate and pixie sticks. He absolutely loves the recorder. It's not so bad when you let him play with it outside. A little background. My ex is awesome. Her and I just were not meant for each other. She loves a son, but she hates confrontation. She also works for the school board, so she has to behave a certain way. I, on the other hand, have a tendency to scare people. I'm a large person, and since I work in the trades I do not have to look or act in any way whatsoever. The story. My son, who had been taking taekwondo for about 4 years at that time, was being bullied at school. He did the right thing and told a teacher. I guess the bully was her relative in some way, because she told my son not to be a tattletale. My son once again did the right thing and told his mother, who he lives with. I work in the oil field, so I'm not always in the city. She decided not to follow up because she doesn't want to stir the pot at work. My son called me and told me what happened. I talked to his mom and verified the story. I asked her why she hadn't done anything about the problem, and she said that if I really cared I would do something. You want me to take care of this? Okay. Cue the malicious compliance. I made an appointment with the principal for my next week off. Myself and my son met with the principal and the teacher in question. I explained the situation and asked what was to be done. The principal said that this was the first he was hearing about it, but the teacher claimed that it did not happen. I then turned to my son and said, the next time that kid bullies you, I give you permission to punch him in the throat. The principal and the teacher both looked at me like I was about to kill them. The principal said, you can't say that. I asked, are you sure? Let me try again and find out. Hey boy, the next time that kid bullies you, you have my permission to punch him in the throat. Holy crap, you were wrong. I totally can say that. The bullying stopped.